Yeah, we're excited to be back in Pinnacle Bank this weekend, with fans. We've been enjoying being back there for some practices and getting ready. I told the girls after our close scrimmage that we are very excited to be one more week mature before we get the opportunity to show that in front of our fan base, but just really excited to get this group going with this season, and some exciting opportunities lie in front of us, and so here we go.
How did you feel? Does that mean you're still finding a little bit of inexperience?
Yeah, I mean, we're just still learning. We're still learning and growing and finding the way pieces are going to come together, and the way our team is going to take on some different responsibilities in certain situations, and how our rotations are going to kind of come together. And so, we learned, we saw some things with UMKC. UMKC was a brand new head coach with a lot of new players, so there wasn't a lot of prep. And so I thought they showed us a few things that we for sure need to gain some growth with as we move into this season.
What are some of those things that you can share?
Yeah, our ball screen defense was not very good, so we're going to have to really sharpen that up a little bit. And then we're working on some things, I thought UMKC really came in and tried to pressure and take passes away from us and do some things that exposed some certain areas that we need to handle a little bit better. But for the most part, I saw some really good things out of our team, and so we're going to try to build on that as well.
And you're ranked in the preseason top 25. Do you take that as a sign of respect, or do you pay much attention to those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, the preseason poll doesn't mean near as much to us. Just we do feel like it's nice to have people on the outside being able to kind of validate what we feel like in our locker room, and that is that we can be one of the best teams in the country if we take care of business and stay healthy and really lean into each other and continue to play for each other, that we can be one of the best teams in the country. So it's nice to have some validation on that for sure. But we are going to be way more interested in what the postseason polls say than the preseason.
What are you expecting to get out of the Washburn scrimmage?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great opportunity for us to just play against, somebody other than ourselves or our male practice players. I think just getting a different look from a team that is well coached and has a system and has a plan, and to have to be able to adjust to that and be ready to learn some things defensively, how to take those things away is a good experience. Getting out in front of your crowd, our kids get so excited to play in front of our home fan base. So sometimes to be able to knock some of the butterflies and jitters out, and just the excitement that comes with that. And, we have some players that are, new to our program. Maddie Kroll, who's going to be, wearing that Husker uniform in front of fans for the first time. And just, how big of an honor that is for a Nebraska native like that to have Nebraska across her chest. And, Callan Hake, one of our freshmen coming in. But players like Naila Dillard, who have been here for a couple of years but have never been able to suit up in a Husker uniform, those guys are just really excited to have that opportunity on Sunday to not just play against another division or another opponent, but to do it in front of our fans.
What did Cook came by the other day? What did that message mean to the team to hear it from Coach like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot to our team. Needless to say, he had their full and undivided attention. I was just very grateful and thankful to him for taking time in the middle of a Big Ten conference race for him to come over and really speak to our kids. I thought he had an outstanding message for our group, but just, he had their eyes locked and they were hanging on every word, and all of us were, because why wouldn't you when you have a coach like John Cook to be able to kind of pull from?
Amy, kind of going off of that, since you mentioned mention it. In this state, you know, being so volleyball, quote unquote centric, I guess. Creighton's also in the preseason top 25 in basketball. I guess, how does that resonate with you? That both schools for the first time are in the preseason top 25.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a pretty sign there's some special things going on in women's sports in this state, and it's just a couple of a few really, really good women's volleyball programs within our state borders, and also, you know, some really, really good basketball, and Creighton and Nebraska are two of those on the Division I ranks, but you can just go right down the list, and Concordia, and there's just a state full of really, really good women's basketball. And so I think that we feel like, you know, it's fun to be a part of, and there's just something very special going on in women's athletics in the state of Nebraska and the upper Midwest right now, and we're glad to be able to share that with Husker Nation.
With volleyball numbers from participation in high school trending, it's overtaken basketball. How are you finding that to kind of play out, I guess, when you're recruiting? I mean, do you find yourself having to fight for volleyball players to come play basketball if they're two-sport athletes?
You know, this will be the first time that I've had the honor of being able to coach one that is capable of trying to do both at this level. But yeah, I think that there's plenty of times, I'm sure, that there are phenomenal athletes that choose the sport of volleyball that we wish, man, we'd sure love to have seen what she could have done in a basketball uniform, and vice versa. I'm quite sure there's the flip way as well. But I think from our standpoint, you can tell with the success that all of our Division I programs within the state are having in both women's basketball and volleyball, that there's enough talented athletes to go around.
You don't really know what's going to happen in the exhibition, but a lot of unknowns. But what's maybe one or two things that you are very confident that your team will do well?
I'm confident that they're going to fight. They play hard. They get after it. They practice that way every day. We know that we have to do that at a bare minimum to have the success that we want to have for this year. So I think we're going to see them get out there and lay it on the line and compete and get after it. So that's something that I really look forward to. And then, I know one thing that, our fans will be able to pretty much guarantee is that will be an opportunity for us to look at a lot of different lineups. So, they're going to be able to see everybody get some opportunities, and we're going to look at a lot of different people to be able to see how our lineups are starting to mesh together.
Hey, what did you see out of Trinity in the scrimmage?
Yeah.
And what is your anticipation for her? She was in the starting group.
Mm-hmm.
What's your hope and anticipation for her?
Yeah, Trinity was really good. She's been just incredibly solid. Trinity was very efficient. She didn't miss any baskets in that game. She just does what she can do. She's real solid defensively. She talks. She communicates. She does all the little things that somebody that's been in your program for her, going into her fourth season that you would want and expect, even though she hasn't had as many court minutes. She's just a high IQ player that doesn't try to do things that are outside of her capabilities, and just really contributes in a lot of ways that may not show up always in the stat sheet. But I thought in our close scrimmage the other day, Sam, Trinity was real efficient and did exactly what our team needs her to do.
Is she part of the five? I feel like they can put on the floor on Sunday.
We are still just making that determination right now, and we've been working several different people together kind of in that lineup, and there's nothing that has been solidified or determined for sure. And Trinity's a young lady that's been kind of bouncing around and filling in wherever we might need her position-wise, and she's played this kind of all over the map. So that sometimes kind of lends to what we decide to do with starting lineup based on rotations and things. But that will probably be determined on Saturday.
There have been a couple of years where you brought arguably your best player off the bench in a desire to, like, halfway through the first quarter to create energy and points right away. Is that something that you consider doing with Maddie or
Yeah, I mean, Maddie Kroll is a young lady that we're still kind of working into the rotations and seeing how and identifying kind of how she complements with Allison and Jazz Shelley and the other guards on the floor. And I think lineups and matchups and rotations and when we need to have certain players in the game at certain times. But Maddie is somebody that's quickly earning the trust of every one of her teammates and coaches with just the effort that she puts on the floor. And we saw that in our close scrimmage. She was taking charges, getting steals, making things happen for our team. And so we're going to make that determination of where's the best place for us to be able to have her contributing those key minutes and attributes.
You need to go back to Trinity, especially with how the last couple of years have went for her. How nice is it to see her back healthy and full go?
Yeah, it's it almost kind of makes me a little teary-eyed and choked up just because of how much she's had to persevere through to get back out there and be contributing, and so I think all of her teammates feel the same way. They just are. It's just a treat for them. So when she is out there on the court and she's they really want to pour into her, but also feed off of the knowledge of everything that she has gone through to be back out there doing what she loves to do with them. And I think it just means a lot. And our whole team has rallied around that.